Algeria has revoked privileged airport and port access to French diplomats. Fellas, respect. I'm always going to talk about respect. If you've been watching us for a while, you should know about that. Respect is everything. No respect, no relationship. No respect, no deal. No respect, no partnership. Matter of fact, you cannot work together with no respect. No respect, no brotherhood. It really doesn't matter who's oldest. Because, I know in the black community, the older people are more respected than the younger people. And the older people naturally expect the younger people to respect them for free. Yes, they will disrespect you in public, but don't respond because it's a lack of respect. Crazy stuff. Respect must go both ways. This is Algeria, okay? Beautiful place, lovely people. This is Africa, Northern Africa. Algeria has revoked privileged airport and port access to French diplomats. Congratulations, we're picking my coffee. Well, we're not picking my coffee because of Algeria, but we're picking my coffee because of respect. It's all about respect. They have revoked privileged access to airport and port for French diplomats. I'll explain. What is this? These people usually come with, all these honors and respect. I'm talking about diplomats. Diplomatic bodies in foreign lands are very much respected. They don't get controlled and stuff like that. So they can do anything they want. And perhaps that's the reason why we hear stories along the lines of diplomats bringing in drugs. Because they don't get searched. You can't search a diplomat's bag. It's a crime. So Algeria has revoked some of the privilege. Which are the privilege? We're going to find out about that. But why has Algeria done so? It is a retaliation, okay? A retaliation after reports that Paris has restricted Algerian diplomats' movement in France. So Paris has restricted Algerian diplomats' movement in France. Therefore, Algeria has revoked their privilege in the airport and some of the access ports. Let's find out more about this. We like diving deep. Let's dive deep. Surely you want to understand what are access privilege cards. What are these? Well, these access privilege cards are official documents issued by a host country to foreign ministry. And this is basically given to the embassy. So, your embassy in a foreign nation will receive these privilege cards. Number of them. It's for consular staff and their family and embassy personnel. Number 3, they grant certain privilege to the people, such as 1. Diplomatic immunity. Diplomatic immunity is when you're a diplomat, you can do bad things in somebody else's country. They won't arrest you because of, they're not saying you should do bad things, but they cannot arrest you because of diplomatic immunity. We've seen cases of people getting hit with the car, diplomat, and the diplomat doesn't get arrested. Is it good? Well, good for the doer, but bad for the family. Number 3, tax exemption. Okay, this card gives you tax exemption. Number 4, freedom of movement. You can move as much as you want. Number 5, simplified custom procedures. So when you come into an airport, you can have access to secure zones like airport VIP section. You can go through government lane with privilege. I'm sure you've seen this when you go to airport. They say this is people, this is diplomatic. It's like VIP sector. These are access you get through these cards that are being revoked. Now, you remember they said it was a retaliation to France. What retaliation is this? The retaliation is because of a ban. France banned 800 Algerian official and dignitary. In fact, France released a list of 800 Algerians. Dignitary, including political, administrative, military figures, are now barred from entering the French territory. This is crazy. Algeria blocking French people from using their special cards. France banning 800 Algerians from getting inside the country. Now, for context, Algeria was colonized by France many years ago. They were beaten up really, really bad. The French came by force, they raped women, they murdered men, they did wrong things. Matter of fact, after World War II, when America had the atomic bomb and Britain, French also wanted the atomic bomb. The Americans said, we don't think French people need the atomic bomb. What do you need it for? We can protect you. Well, back in time, France said, no, we want our own atomic bomb. We want to make our own. So in order for you to make atomic bomb, you have to have a land or somewhere you can do the testing. Well, guess where they went to test the atomic bomb? Yeah, you guessed it right. In Algeria. In many places. They bombed underground, they bombed in the air, they bombed on the land. Now, the problem is they've never issued Algerian authority with a list of specific areas of where they bombed. The atomic bomb is after effect, okay? All this stuff that are negative that happened to human beings after there was a bomb. Now, you need to give a map, a clear map, a precise map on where you did your research and bombing. Well, they've never given the Algerian authorities. Matter of fact, up until today, Algerian people, many of them at least, are living with, aftermath of these atomic bombs.
رانا راهي منسية القضية هذه تماما، منسية تماما. نحبوا المسؤولين تاوعنا الله يعمل مولانا ينصرهم في الوقت الحاضر ينوضوا يقوموا بالصح ويحاسبوا فرنسا اللي راهي دارت أكبر جريمة في العالم.
This is just to give you context. Well, later after that, Algeria became free. Okay, they have developed now, but they have very much strengthful relationship. We're gonna find out why is this strengthful? What's the cause? What's the root of this problem? Number one, in April 2025, France expelled an Algerian diplomat. Why? In fact, the French authorities arrested about 4 people, and including the Algerian diplomat, an official working for the Algerian embassy in Créteil in France, under suspicion of kidnapping. So what was the kidnapping about? They were trying to kidnap a man who's a government dissident of Algeria. So it's an Algerian guy who lives in France for many, many years, and he's got a big follower on TikTok. The man's name is Amir Boukour, okay? Big TikTok follower, but he's been talking a lot of negative things about Algeria. Basically, some people say he's been exposing things Algerian government has been doing, like looting the country, spending money on Gucci, you know, some of these officials going to France, spending money on big companies, Louis Vuitton, Gucci's. In the meantime, many people of Algeria are living in very much difficulties. So the man was exposing how the president's family was doing negative things. So the president of Algeria supposedly asked people from the embassy to grab this man and get him out of the country by, not officially, get him out of the country so he can go to Algeria. And obviously, you think they're going to give him cake in Algeria. Absolutely not. So apparently, as they abducted the man, they put him in a car. They were driving in the forest. When they got in the forest, the guy was frightful. It was very difficult. They couldn't carry him out the way they planned. And they were forced to dump him out. Now, how did they abduct the guy? Apparently, they used a car with police police alarms. Crazy stuff, my brother. And when the French people did the investigation, they found out that one consular representative was part of these people. I mean, it's crazy. And when they did that, then they decided to expel this man. I mean, you can't come in our country just because you're a diplomat and do abducting and human trafficking and kidnapping. It's unacceptable. When they did that, Algerian government was not happy about that. That's one of the reasons they're not getting along. Western Sahara. Have you heard of Western Sahara? This land right here. Well, this land has been disputed for a long time. Western Sahara was disputed territory in North Africa. It was formerly a Spanish colony. Okay, in 1975 it became free. They wanted to be a free country, but Morocco, you see Morocco here, claimed them. Morocco said Western Sahara is part of Morocco. They want it back. Well, Western Sahara, some of the people said, no, we want to be our own people. But they were supported by Algeria. Okay, so then the Polisario Front, these are considered as rebels, backed by Algeria, seek independence from Western Sahara. They want to create their own country. Morocco want them. They say, no, we're not part of Morocco. We want to create our own country. But in the meantime, Algeria supports these people, the rebels. Now, the problem is France acknowledged Morocco's request. Okay, so France said, Morocco is right.
For France, the present and future of this territory fall within the framework of Moroccan sovereignty.
And because France said Morocco's right, Algeria was not happy about that. It felt like they were taking sides. France supported Morocco as a strategic alliance because Morocco is a key French ally in North Africa, in economy, in migration and counterterrorism. Unofficially, Morocco gets a lot of money from Europeans. Some people talk about France so they can stop migrants from crossing. You see all this land? This is Africa. A lot of people trying to cross this Mediterranean Sea. You see, this is it, to go to Europe because they think life is better in Europe. And in order for you from Southern Africa or Sub-Saharan Africa to go to Europe, you have to cross Northern Africa, which is Morocco in most cases. So what do? They pay Morocco to beat you up really bad, so that when you go back to your country, you go tell your brothers and sisters, please don't go to Morocco. They're going to donor you. They'll beat you up really bad. So because of that relationship, economical relationship, France chose Morocco over Algeria, and Algeria is very angry about that. Problem number 3 is the fact that France tried to return and expel 120 people from France that France believed were Algerian. In response, Algeria announced it will enforce strict reciprocity and accuse France of breaching the Vienna Convention by diplomatic relations. So France has 130 people that want to be sent back to Algeria because they're supposedly Algerians. Now, Algeria said this is crime. You're not doing things the right way. Why? Algeria, believe me, many of these people are dual citizens. Many of them are born in France. They've been living in France their whole life. I mean, imagine you've lived in France for 40 years and age 42, you're being told you gotta go back to a country you've never been in the past. Algeria believe those people are more French than they are Algerians. There are also people that were born in France but to Algerian parents. There are also Algeria argues they shouldn't accept people with very little tie to Algeria. There are also people who have committed crimes in France. Just because their ancestors were Algerian, France want to send them back to Algeria. So Algeria said no. Okay, people are born there, they're yours. People who have committed crime there have nothing to do with us because their ancestors were French. They're not ours. People who are born of Algerian parents in France shouldn't be sent to Algeria. So who do you think is right? Who do you think is wrong? I mean, France's right to say because you're sending people here to commit crime in our country, we should be allowed to send them back by force? Or do you think they're abusing their power as colonialists? Number 2, do you think France has the right to support Morocco, even though Algeria has been supporting West Sahara to be a free country? Number 3, do you think Algeria has the right to try kidnap somebody in a foreign land without paying the consequences of it? Let me know how you feel about that.